the volume.
Turn up the volume.
You've arrived at the destination for all things Kentucky. This is the Bleed Blue Network Podcast.
The Lady Cats concluded their NCAA tourney run with a loss. Was it 76-54 loss to Texas? Texas 1 seed. Second time, basically Texas kind of throttled us. Is this, TV, am I right to say this? Is this the first Sweet 16 our ladies made in about a decade or something like that? That's that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kenny Brooks is moving things in the right direction. Women's basketball, if you look around, it's still very top heavy. Like, you've still got the top 1 or 2 seeds winning by like 30-something points.
Over like 5 seeds, 4 or 5 seeds.
Yeah, deep into the Elite Eight, right? Like, it's very top heavy, but I do feel encouraged that, Clara Strack, she's been amazing. Our man Corey Price has put out some statistics about how she's putting up numbers we haven't seen in the SEC since Asia Wilson. They've got 3 McDonald's All-Americans coming in, including, I can't remember her name, from Minnesota. Man, her name is escaping me at the moment, but she's an Iowa legacy. Both of her parents played at Iowa, so Iowa fans are a little hot that she's not going to Iowa. She's going to Kentucky. So Coach Brooks is building toward the future, right? Like, we've got some all SEC caliber players. We just need to kind of fill out that roster and keep. And we showed that during the regular season with all those wins that we had against top ranked teams. Taking on LSU at LSU. So I'm excited. I am encouraged on that Sweet 16 finish. Madden Greenway. That's right. Thank you. Because her dad played football for Iowa, played linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. Mom ran track. So she's a legacy that Kenny Brooks was able to pluck out of the Midwest and bring to the SEC. So there you go.
Dabo, what do you got?
Yeah, that was really sucky to see him go out like that. TV said it. I mean, Kentucky ladies does have a ton of talent, right? It's obvious. I mean, we've seen it over the years get better and better. But as you said, the women's game is still pretty top heavy. There are programs catching up to the top. But you saw it against Texas in the tournament. Not only were they more hungrier than Kentucky by the 29-11 lead that they took after the end of the first quarter, but even though Clara is 6'5", and the girl that was guarding her was maybe 6'4", but she had so much weight on her and just girth. I mean, you can't compete with that, right? I trust Coach Brooks. Like the TV said, damn it, keep stealing all my points. He's got 3 McDonald's All-Americans coming in. Greenway, she's obviously a beast. She's scoring 40 points a game or something stupid like that. So I'm going to be excited for next year. Just ready to see what he's got in store. He's only making, more and more progress every year. So, yeah, definitely don't hang your head on. Sure.
Yeah, speaking of what they got in store for next year, Kyle, Randow, they've got 3 McDonald's All-Americans coming in, not to mention Clara Strack returning. I mean, this is a kind of a foundation for a potential top 10 team next year. Huh?
Yeah, I don't think Kenny Brooks has shown since, he first stepped in Lexington that he's had any problem getting talent here, right? Starting off with getting Georgia here to follow him from Virginia Tech, and he's consistently brought in talent, whether it's through the transfer portal or now he's just plucking top recruits out. And especially to TV's point, I mean, you have this Iowa legacy young lady on the heels of Caitlin leaving Iowa, can fill those. You could keep building this thing up in Iowa basketball lore, right? And then bam, Kenny Brooks is never mind, you come to Lexington, let's get you on a horse and learn you how to drink some bourbon. So that's a big pull.
And they're heated
now.
They are heated about it. To be honest,
I can imagine
they are heated.
So. And I honestly did not know of her until she committed to Kentucky, but now that she is at Kentucky, I have, her stuff is always in my timeline and, watching her highlights. And I mean, she is, I don't know about the talent in Minnesota and where she's coming from, but the people that she plays, she embarrasses them all the time, and she is an absolute bucket. I imagine getting here, there'll be some transition, but we know the way that the WNBA is set up, she will be here multiple years. So like, this is someone you can really, really build around for the next 3 years. And Kenny Brooks could potentially have something for the Mulkeys and the Genos of the college basketball world, or women's college basketball world.
She's equivalent to Paige, is from what I understand, to Paige Beckers, from what I understand, as far as being able to get her shot off and play in the offense. So it's a good get. Like it's huge. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Drew, final thoughts on the ladies?
Yeah, she's really good. I always see her, highlights pop up, and she's intriguing to watch. But yeah, I think Kenny Brooks has done a good job so far. Obviously, he didn't take over really, the best situation with the women's college or a women's program, but he's came in, he's reignited it. I think, obviously the fan support's there huge. They're competing, they're winning big games. So, I think obviously it wasn't going to be like, 1 year fix and he's just all of a sudden going to turn into making Final Fours and those things. But he's continuing to progress year after year, should have a good team back. Obviously, Clara Strack's reportedly coming back as well. So he should have a squad, hopefully, get some pieces out of the portal, continue to build up and keep trying to knock on the door to some of the big dogs in the ladies game.
Knock on the door. Very solid season. Again, progress. Sweet 16. Talent is looking very positive moving forward. All right. Segment 2. It's actually not a segment until I get to do my thing. There you go. Pope versus Cal. The radio show Math versus Cal Shade. This past week, was it this? Yeah, on March 23rd, Coach Pope's, I guess it was his final radio show of the season, went on a fact-finding mission, pointing out he has 3 SEC tourney wins in 2 years compared to Cal's 1 win in his final 4 years. And then you had Coach Cal basically clapping back after his team got beat down by Arizona. I quote, "You have no recruits. You don't have the money you had a year ago." As far as our little debate here, Davo, to start with you, is it fair for Pope to compare himself to Cal's rock bottom, or is he just trying to buy time with beef?
I'm not gonna sit there and get into that bullshit, because the only thing he's really doing is comparing the first 2 years of the tenure, right? According to the way I understood it. And if we're going to do that, then Pope should be absolutely embarrassed by even having those comments, because the first 2 years hasn't even been anywhere near close, right? So, well,
he's comparing his first 2 years against Cal's final 4 years, right? Is that what I'd suggest, right?
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, why the hell are we going to compare?
Yeah, he's not talking about Cal's prior,
So if that's the case, he's arguing that he had a decent 2 years to Cal's absolutely pathetic shit last 4 years, right?
That is his argument, yes.
So what the fuck are we doing there? Like, there's nothing.
He was saying that we're on a upward trend. That's
I guess debate here, guys.
Compared to what we were under Cal and the points he made, yeah, we are on an upward trend now. Does that say that we're in an acceptable spot of Kentucky basketball? I firmly disagree in that.
So do we count an upward trend whenever we won what he's comparing what we won 3 SEC games in 2 years, right? Tournament games, right? But whenever 2 of those wins was a Wednesday and Thursday game, right? So you got it.
That's a good point too.
He did point that out on the radio show. Okay. But yeah.
I have to admit, I did not listen to all of it. I listened to some sound bites, and I was like, TB, when I first heard this, I was like, no, Coach Hope, just stay in your lane. But I mean, so statistically, he's correct, but
if I may, okay, he can only do this now. Like, he can't say anything else about it, because I'm going to explain to you like this. My current wife was married before me. I was married before. When I mess up, I can't point out what her ex-husband did because what the old guy did ain't got nothing to do with what I'm doing. Okay. You can only say the other guy was terrible. Well, you here now. And is it fair? That's the job. That's what I've been saying. Like he's got to compare the last 4 years to Cal because he can't do the first two. Matter of fact, I've still got my whiteboard.
Thank you. Get a little closer for people with the readers. Or read that out loud. Again, reminder. Here's
my thing, right? We can talk about the SEC is different now. We can talk about when Rupp took over, Negroes couldn't play. We can talk about when Joe B took over this thing. We can talk about Rick taking over for probation. We can talk about Tubby taking over for Rick. We can talk about Coach Cal following up the last 2 years of Tubby and the 2 years of Billy G. Again, a 5-year drought between Sweet 16s when Cal took over.
Right.
But when he was struggling, he wasn't talking about what Billy G did and what Tubby did. He was like, I'm here now. I'm going to own it. Again, year 3, every 3-year coach in the first 3 years went to an Elite 8. Every 3-year coach at the University of Kentucky went to an Elite 8 in the first 3 years.
Yep.
At a minimum. Okay. And I had someone, because they like to go back to Joe B. Hall's sophomore year, and somebody said, oh, they didn't play that tough. Yeah, I got my notes. They didn't play tough out of conference, Joe B. Joe B. Hall, his first 4 losses that year, number 13, Kansas, number 3, IU, number 5, North Carolina, number 3, Notre Dame. I'm not a genius, but that seems like a pretty damn tough out-of-conference schedule. So all this stuff, it doesn't mean anything. Win ball games. That's it.
My man Randow has been silent for a few minutes. Now you get to floor is yours, brother. Go.
Nothing Pope said was wrong. And if you listen to the full thing, he acknowledged that where we're at is not acceptable, to Davo's point. Okay. But you can compare the last 4 years of Cal because that's why Cal is no longer the coach. And I'd actually like the analogy, TB, with the ex-wife thing. But you could also throw out there, be like, hey, listen, if you like what he did, you can go back, right? You can go back, but you're not, because you know how bad that was and you know how bad it got. So here's the biggest thing. I don't mind Pope taking a little shot at Cal. I don't mind Cal taking another shot back at Pope. I think that rivalry is good for the sport. I think it's very good for them to go back and forth. Here's my biggest issue with the people who had an issue with what Pope said and did on the radio show last Monday. Early in the season, when he was talking about losses and he was in front of Goodman or whoever, Leach, Kentucky, Brady, or whatever, and he was talking about losses and looking like beat up like I do and y'all do when we lose, just like emotions on his sleeve, right? Everybody's like, this guy can't cut it. He can't do it. He's not mentally ready for this job. But then the end of the season, when he's like, all right, I'm gonna stand up for myself. I'm gonna put my balls on the table and be like, hey, guess what? This is why we are on our upward trajectory. This is why we are going to get to where we're going to get to. And they're not excuses, but I did have a roster that was built around J-Lo at the 1, Oteg at the 2, Zell at the 3, and unfortunately, and JQ, as my starting 5, and it didn't work out. We gambled and it didn't work. But I'm telling you right now, we can get back to where we were year 1 and be better. And everybody's like, oh, well, you can't compare that. So which one do you want? Do you want the dude who is emotional and is like a fan also as a coach and more quiet and reserved? Or do you want the guy who is like, listen, I'm going to take this program back to where it used to be. And I'm telling you that I'm comparing the last 4 because you can call for my job, but we are actually doing better than we were under the last 4. There's also the argument of you can't compare Cal's first year to his first 4 or his first 2, but we're not through Cal's first 3, or I'm sorry, Pope's first 3 yet to get to TB's analytics of what you have to do, right? So I just want to know what the hell, which one do you want? Which one do you want from the Kentucky fan base? Because at this point, it's not about what Pope is saying or doing. It's just you don't think he's the right guy, which is fine, but don't attack him from both angles.
I like it. Strong. That's strong, Ryan. Don't go, TB. You get the rebuttal.
No, look, he can say what he wants. He can do whatever he wants. I just want to win. Like all this stuff I'm hearing,
correct.
All the injuries, injuries. We've heard about the injuries. Well, we just played an Iowa State team that lost their All-American less than 48 hours before the game. game and we lost by 20 points. Okay. I know because I'm in Iowa. I've had to hear that man talk about fatigue, but I watched Bennett Sturts play point guard for the Iowa Hawkeyes, played every fucking minute, 160 minutes to get his team to an Elite Eight. And I got to hear about fatigue. That's all I'm saying is like, help me understand that. Just win. I don't want to hear anything.
Agreed. But none of those things are brought up in that conversation we were just talking about. And I came on the show on Sunday last week, and I told you I lost some faith in Pope with the way that he lost that lead. And he went back to the rotation at the 12-minute mark instead of like just stomping Iowa State when they were reeling and doing what Tennessee did the following game. So I agree with you there. And at to your point about, Gillespie and the strength of schedule, if you don't win, it doesn't matter. So like you can throw out whatever statistics and analytics and whatever numbers you want to. Right. If you don't win consistently, it doesn't matter. But the fact that he pointed out to the fan base of like, hey, let me remind you of what I have done since I've been here, i.e. beat Duke for the first time in a decade, like things like that. I think that's fair. I think that is a fair argument to make, and I think it's okay for Pope again to stand up on a pedestal for a little bit and go, I believe in myself. Y'all should too. Let me prove it to you. It's a big offseason. I don't mind him starting it off with that press conference and that message to the fan base. That's all I'm saying.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
I will say this. He has brought me back in a little bit by getting rid of what seems to be a little dead weight on the coaching staff. Right. And he seems to be making some pressure packed situation choices with the players that he wants to bring back.
Nice segue, Davo. Let's talk changes now. Staying with the coaching. Go ahead. No, I'm saying continue. This is the segment we're going to talk about. Just really the changes.
Final thing, Cal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I hate is Cal was always very positive about Coach Pope since he's been here, saying, oh, he's the right guy for the job, this, that. And then Pope gets an opportunity, at a difficult season and obviously getting embarrassed in the round of 32 with the way the game played out. And then I hate that Pope reverted to taking shots at Cal. That's what kind of drove me crazy with it. But then on the flip side, I honestly wish Cal, and I'm surprised Cal didn't, go back at Pope harder. All he did was just throw a little jab out there, and Pope kind of threw some haymakers at him, with the statistics and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I sort of evaluate it all.
Yeah, no offense to our guy, but Coach Pope is punching up because Cal's a Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he had that 4-year period that our fan base.
You can't take away the first 10 years.
Hell fucking no, because that's my those point. 10 years up against any window of ours.
Yeah,
because I'm surprised Cal responded. Cal's like, Google me.
Yeah,
go to Rupp Arena where you play. There are 16 banners. I put 4 of them up there myself. Mm-hmm. So I don't know who you talking to like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't end great, but every time you go up there and coach, go look at them rafters.
The banners are still up there even after he left.
Them 4 to the far right, I did that. Google me.
But you know what also, if you Google Calipari in his last 4 years, this disenchantment with Cal, it's to me, has it played out that this was the AD? I mean, this was the AD, the administration. That disconnect between Cal and Mitch. That just kind of like Cal was like, fuck it.
And Cal threw his punch back on.
This isn't a 15-year job.
Announce his retirement.
No, it's not. Drew, say your thought. What was that, Drew? Go.
I was saying Cal threw his punch right back on Twitter when Mitch announced his retirement, saying, we didn't always get along, but enjoy retirement. And Cal's not afraid to throw shots when he feels disrespected or when he feels like it's his time to shine. And I respect it. I think that's makes
he's
John
a Hall of Famer. He gets the benefit of a doubt on a lot of this ride of his.
So
go ahead, Dave.
So if we talk about Kentucky's the brand, right? That's always going to be the argument, right?
First and foremost.
So
always.
Cal put 4 of those banners up in Rupp, right?
Yep.
Thank you for that. But once again, Kentucky is the brand. He has since gone to Arkansas, which is still very odd to me why he did that. He went to Arkansas. He had what was arguably, by every Arkansas fan in the world, the best point guard Cal has ever had, along with some really good other players. And what has he done there, right? So that's what I'm saying. Kentucky's always going to be Kentucky. It's just going to take the right guy, right? And we have till next year to find out if we have that right guy.
Well, here's the reminder of where we're at. as we're doing this live stream on this Sunday night, March 29th, it was 2 Elite 8 finals. Kentucky's name has not been mentioned in a long time, has not been part of this weekend, this fucking weekend. That's where, as a fan, myself, I'll speak for me as a fan, I don't care who the coach is. We have to be in that conversation. We can't get bounced by it was 19 or 20 points in a Sweet 6 or third round of 32 game. We can wear that we're blue blood, cape and hat. But again, I'll remind, we haven't been relevant this decade. No one fears us. People walk into Rupp, they think they're going to win. Every opponent thinks they're going to win. We're there.
I personally think relevant is the wrong word. I think successful is the better word. We haven't been.
We'll always be relevant.
We're Kentucky basketball. We're going to be relevant, which is why they haven't punted us from like the CBS Classic and those sort of things. We will always be relevant.
That's you know what?
Because when we're bad,
I'm going to redact. That's a great point, because the thing is that because we're Kentucky, you put us on TV, we're going to get that. We're going to get your million viewers. We're going to get. You're right. Relevant.
It's either BBN or everybody. It's right. It's like when we watch Duke. It's either you're cheering for Kentucky or you're hating on us, right? It's just how it's going to go.
Good call. Right. All right. So let's switch gears to the main reason why I had invited Drew on. What's going on with the portal recruiting? Well, let's start with coach. Davo, you brought up some coaching changes. Drew, I'll let you start it. What's from a coaching perspective? What's going on with the staff?
So before I get into any of that, I give Pope a lot of credit because, when the game ended against Iowa State, I really, at first, I didn't expect many changes at all, roster-wise, coaching-wise, anything. I thought he was going to double down on what he did this year and hope that, minus a few tweaks here and there, which we've seen in the past, some coaches do that.
Now, for the record, I think Coach Pope hears what Terry Brown says and knows there's smoke. Terry brings the smoke and he needs to do something. Joking. I totally butchered that. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. No smoke. So I think, I think that's the first thing. I was a little bit nervous. And then, as the offseason, I guess a week from today, around Tuesday or Wednesday, you start to hear some scuttlebutt that things are happening. And I think just in general from the outside looking in, I think you're seeing it that Pope he's not going to go down without a fight. I think, I don't necessarily want to say he's on the hot seat going into the year. I think that's unfair, but I think there's obviously next year is an important year. And so I think you're seeing him being very strategic about what he is doing. With the coaches, obviously 4 of them, their contracts were expiring in the summertime. That was Alvin Brooks, Cody Feger, Mark Fox, and who was the other one? Jason Hart. They were all expiring. Mikhail McLean's under contract till next year. So I think that was probably Pope's call or a parting of ways of, hey, we're not going to extend your contract. Those 2 leave. I know there's obviously been some conversations as well that Mark Fox could be out the door as well, potentially. We'll see, what develops there. So obviously, potentially 2 obvious coaching changes, potentially 3. And I think, there will be plenty of candidates to fill those spots. And but I think with the roster,
hold that. Let me get everyone's take as far as the coaching changes, guys. Dave, I'll start with you. Thoughts? What are you thinking, feeling?
Pope keeps everything so close to the chest, so I'm not sure. I mean, I think. Sorry. I don't think that I don't know. We have a few that we would like to see in there. Like we have pipe dreams, right? I'll bring Tyler Eulis back. That would be amazing. But
what's this? Orlando Antigua.
Well, Orlando Antigua, from what we understand, was quoted literally asking Pope to stay on staff.
He was building he had a house being built and everything, and I guess he wanted to stay.
I didn't know about the house. Okay.
Yeah, Pope was like, I don't think in a bad way, but was like, I'm going to bring my own guys here, and so I think with the
Cal guys, and I think
it was a Cal thing, right?
AB3 came and kind of replaced Antigua as like that recruiter guy, right? And then we had Jason Hart kind of on the back end of the off season.
That really worked out, didn't it?
No.
Yeah. And we had our show Wednesday, and there was some scuttlebutt about, the coaching changes. I personally think Mark Fox will be on the roster. Drew, you talked about, Pope really putting a lot of work in this offseason, and him, I think he knows he's on the hot seat. Another bad year, even if he repeats year one, it's going to be tough for Kentucky fans not to be called for his job again, get even louder, right? So I think that's going to be tough. But because of his relationship with Mark Fox, I think he goes down with the ship with Mark Fox on his staff. Mark Fox gave him the first opportunity at Georgia. I think there's a relationship there. Now, you can potentially come up and have coaches to help out. Mark Fox has a role where you're just on the staff and you do other things. But I don't mind that loyalty there. Like that, Cal had loyalties to certain guys and we didn't really appreciate it. But I think there's something to be said about that with a coach. If you're not loyal to some dudes, you're probably not going to get other guys to come in later on. But my personal take on Hart and AB, I met AB in the Lexington airport, and that dude spent some time talking to me. My flight had got delayed there, waiting on Caleb Wilson. He came to me and goes, "Hi, I'm Alvin Brooks." I was like, "Yeah, I know who you are, dude." Like, yeah, I know. But he was super humble. And so I don't want this to come off as, me talking shit or anything. But him and Jason Hart were both guys who were brought here to get highly touted recruits in Lexington, right, and play in Rupp. And they got a lot of dudes in the building, but they didn't get a lot of dudes to stay in the building, right? We got a lot of guys to come check us out and put us on the Final Five list, right? But they weren't closers, and maybe that was Pope, maybe that was a JMI deal. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, these guys were supposed to be the heavy hitters, where this guy is going to bring us this guy, this guy's Hart's going to be able to land this guys. And again, we were on a lot of final lists, but we never closed. And the guys that we did close on were, I think, fail safes or backup plans. And again, no disrespect on the players, but I don't mind us going to a Keegan Brown, who is a Pope guy, but from my understanding, in back and forth with BYU fans and whatnot, he's not a yes man. He's not like a dude who's going to come in and just like tell Pope what he wants to hear. He's actually going to, he'll tell Pope, "Hey, dog, if you sub another dude in at the 12-minute mark and lose a 10-point lead, I'm going to lose my shit on you," right? So like, I think he's a guy who can come and lean on Pope and bring the best out of Pope like he did at BYU. And then I really hope this Austin Pope smoke is real. I really hope it's real and he comes back, because he's gonna have G League talent. He's gonna have a lot of dudes who are on the cusp of going pro, either as a 4-star, 5-star recruit or transfer portal. I think that's big. So I would love to see Austin Pope back in one of those assistant coach jobs.
Yeah, Drew, you haven't got the memo yet, but we with Round of Shots partner with Bleed Blue Network, and Drew, you're a part of that. You're one of the recruiting guys. When we start up, we'll be starting up a podcast where we'll be talking heavily about portal recruiting updates. Drew will be part of it. We'll get, you know what, Randow? I know, let me, you referenced your show, right, Randow?
Yes.
Well, go all the way, plug it all the way on my show, plug it.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So on Wednesdays, we have the All UK Ball and Border Rivals podcast. So we go live on X and YouTube under the Heavy Pour Sports Network. So All UK Balls, me and Selena, and then the Border Rivals crew. Tennessee fans, one of them is my boy from way back. I've known him. Yeah. The Tennessee sucks, but he's a good human. Him and Hammer are both good dudes. So we get on there and chop it up. That. Tennessee, Kentucky, go back and forth at each other, and then we have our happy hour show. We kind of recap everything on Saturdays. Have a drink or 20 and go. But if you want, since I just got this in the mail, you can.
I need to order some of your merch, bro.
It thing's pretty dope. But unfortunately, I thought I was going to be able to. We dropped it Saturday, and I'm like, man, if we win Sunday, this thing's going to take off, and we didn't, and it kind of died. But that's all right. You can relive Ortega always. His last final great moment, as many great moments as a Kentucky Wildcat. But yeah, man, thanks for letting me plug that. Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Well, you're Randow. I'll let you plug it 10 more times during our show. And for the record, I got a text. Drew's hair is amazing. What? But then I would counter with Davo and Kyle's hair is equally amazing.
That's right. I'm trying to hold on to it for as long as I can.
There you go.
Ain't much there, buddy.
They want that peach. Okay, where are we at? We talking are we done? TB, you left us. You got any final takes, thoughts on where? Well, no, you know what? What's going on with Chandler, Drew? You started and everybody chime in.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of conflicting things going on with Colin Chandler. I think, obviously I think we know like he's a Pope guy through and through. I think he loves Kentucky. I think Big Blue Nation loves him, obviously, just because he's such a good guy, always plays hard. You know, he's had some really good games at Kentucky. Yeah, clutch. But obviously, he's married. I think he's 23, from Utah, and he's
the Mormon thing.
Yeah, he's lived a long life for only a 23-year-old kid with the mission trip and all that stuff. So I would say I expect him to be back. Now, don't, quote me on that or anything like that. But I just feel like,
I don't need to quote you because I got the audio recorded.
Yeah, I feel like Pope is going to at least do everything he probably can reasonably, unless.
Well,
Chandler...
didn't I see that there was, when it came to the coin, that they've maxed him out at a certain amount, and maybe BYU and
I just think I think Pope is going to do reasonably of what he can to bring Chandler back. I think the same thing with Malachi. But obviously, look, if BYU wants to offer him a ton of money and he wants to go back home and be around his family, then like tip your cap and go ball out. I'm going to root for you. I think all Big Blue Nation will. Like, we're going to root for the kid. He's a great kid, So I would say I probably just on a gut feeling, I expect him to be back, but it's 2026 and it's college basketball. We really have no idea. So that's kind of what I would say about Chandler.
Okay, thank you for that. But let me keep this going. We know Jalen Lowe is was it March 28th? He will be parting ways with us. We did get a commitment. Our first recruit of 2026, Davo Mason Williams. Lowe's gone. We got Mason Williams, the one recruit. Who else are we needing to really keep to build around? Or is the guy that we need to build this program around in 2026 not even here yet?
No, not even here yet. We got to stop saying build around anybody who's left on our roster, right? Because that's not fair. We all can agree that after Oweh's gone and Aberdeen's gone, there really is nobody to build around. They're all just role players, really good role players at this point. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see what he pulls out of the portal, or maybe even lucky to get one more high profile freshman out there. That is TBA at this point. As long as he gets another really, really good point guard, I think the Big Blue Nation will be super excited with the class regardless. I do think he's gonna have to get one really, really good center again with Malachi Marino. I know there's been a lot of talk about him being physical enough or ready for SEC play, which was unfair to begin with.
You'll stay with Malachi because I like this kid. I love this kid. Well, first of all, the fact that he's a Kentucky, from the state of Kentucky, that's a point there. Mm-hmm. He was the third guy at the five, the expected third guy at the five, right? Am I right?
Yes. I don't know. I think BG maybe had some thoughts of playing the four. And he was and Malachi would come off the bench at the five with JQ.
Chat me up about Malachi. Keep going.
So my personal thoughts on Malachi are enjoy him next year at Kentucky because that's the last year you'll see him. He will be in the draft next year, probably as a first round pick, top 20, top 25 pick. I think he's got a lot of talent. I don't know if within a year he can really build to a point where he can stretch the floor out as a stretch five and shoot that outside shot. I don't think he can do that. There's still some corrections he needs to make, but a little mid-range maybe, getting his footwork better. I think Malachi, and what will change his game and make him a true NBA 5 is if they can focus this offseason on his vision and passing out of the paint, right? Just hours and hours and hours of Amari Williams film, right? Of just what he did in the Mark Pope offense and how he could get on the block. Amari Williams' footwork was not great as a back to the basket guy. He wasn't. Andrew Carr, great. Amari Williams, not good. He got better as the year went on, but he's playing in the league. Amari's playing in the league right now with the Celtics because of what he can do, his vision, and it spread the offense out, not because he can shoot, but because he can dribble and get downhill, which I think Malachi can put that in his game. And when his back is to the basket and they converge on him, I can find open shooter, which is what the NBA is, right? So I think I'm confident to say right now Malachi's back next year, and he's going to be the starting five, where he's going to be very, very good. And I think you need a backup five to fill BG's role. That's how I feel about Malachi. I lean Chandler being back next year, outside of BYU giving him that $3 million a year speculation that's out there. But I right now, just personal feeling is Colin back, Moreno back, Cam back, and I just don't have much about Mo D or Yelovich or some of these other guys. But I really think those three are what Pope's building the roster around right now. And I think I think Colin coming back as a sixth man. I saw someone on the internet put him, equate him to like Villanova, DiVincenzo, six man, come off the bench, gives you an automatic 10 every single night, but can go off for 20 plus when he's feeling it. Nice. I think that's a perfect comp to what Colin Chandler can do for this team.
I think it's like Kobe Bryant year one. Like, when we were fully healthy, Kobe came in off the bench, checked in at like 15, 16 mark, and just he was out there to score.
Oh, I miss those guys. Last year's team. I wish we had last year's team two time. I absolutely loved last year.
The shortage that we got, or the shortage that we got of Lamont Butler, that's tragic. I mean, that dude would have been you would have talked about him as like Tyler Ulis and those like all-time great point guards. Yes. We had him for a couple years, or even just a full season healthy. Colin, I like the DiVincenzo thing because Colin Chandler has that athleticism too that Kobe Bryant didn't have, but he's not as good of a shooter as Kobe. So you kind of find that middle ground.
Let's remind everybody, we try to keep it real. I mean, we've got clearly you can listen and who are maybe Pope homers versus Pope, keeping Pope in check. That squad last year, I mean, was barring injury. That's a Final Four team.
Yeah.
My point is that even with this team, if Quayton, if we had the players, he's got, I think as far as recruiting goes, and Drew, help me out here, the players he's bringing in, the talent is there to win at the highest level.
Yeah, I think, we've obviously missed, or I shouldn't say we, but, they've obviously missed a lot of recruiting as well, but he's been able to kind of fill the void of that as well. I know last offseason that, missed out on a couple of their top priorities, and they kind of had to overpay for some guys to make sure they didn't go deeper down the list. But he's put together, especially
we're going to debunk this overpay thing, because the narrative out there is that Kentucky spent the most. That $22 million tag that we got hit with, that labeled with, there's numbers coming out that there's several teams that spent a hell of a lot more money than Kentucky this past year for their basketball program.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying about the roster, I think he's, year one was just a great fit. Like, with the way that their games were, like Lamont compared with Ortega and Jackson and Andrew Carr and Amari, like those guys fit well. And I saw the vision, I saw the picture that he had for this year, but we never really got to see it. And, because Jalen Lowe goes down in the blue-white game. And, from there, it was just like, give us whatever you can give us. And obviously, kept dislocating his shoulder and those things. But I think you'll get to, I think Kentucky will get back to putting a roster that you saw in year one. But I think just in general, he's done a good job of, putting the way that you build a roster is by putting a puzzle piece together, and one piece can shift the domino to another piece. And I think he's been able to find ways to do that. But I think obviously last year he didn't do enough as far as depth in certain areas as well that lacked last year for the year one.
Drew, great points. TB, could Pope have done a better job as far as his handling, as far as Quayton. Was that something that, I mean, hindsight is that you I guess you have to roll with him and take chance that he's going to be on the floor. I mean, his injury was a risk. And you're put what, $2 million with this dude? I'm playing armchair quarterback here, but is those situations where do you do a little more due diligence before you pull the plug on somebody who is in a situation where it's very possible he can't and won't contribute to the season?
Who's that one too?
Whoever. I think I said TV, but
that's what I thought. I think looking back, I think the job.
He
took his headphone. All right, I pissed him off.
But I think his technical difficulties.
Yeah, TB, you hear me? Hello, TB.
Go ahead, Drew.
I was just going to
say, Davo, for the record, move your arms because you've been frozen there. You literally just been sitting here for like, and I'm like, is he frozen?
I'm just chilling. There's a lot of good conversation. I'm just chilling.
Well, you know what? Hijack the show, Davo. You're one of the featured people here. Anyway.
I think just going back to the JQ thing, I think obviously like we were all pumped when he committed. I mean, just because of the talent he has and him coming back, like we were all so excited to have him in the first place. Cal leaves and obviously, he departs. But yeah, looking back, it was a totally bad play to bring Jaden Quayton in. But I don't fault him either for making the decisions. It's just one that he made the decision. I was cool with it. You never expect, we were told he was going to come back in December and January. He did that. And then you can't plan for swelling. You can't plan for other injuries to happen, just like you don't plan for the Jalen Lowe shoulder injury to happen. Just things happen. It's unfortunate. And, you got to live with it. And I think Pope probably learned a lesson. He's not going to play in that game, bringing in a guy who's hurt again. I don't see him doing that. It's unfortunate. I mean, he threw his deck at the table and took a risk, and unfortunately it bit him in the ass after all. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a gamble. It was Italy versus the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic, right? It was a guaranteed win. There, you throw $1,000 on that, you're only going to make $100 back, but you just know you're going to get $100. And then we're down 8-0 against Italy in this. You're like, what the hell happened? Right? You had this great opportunity. You took the gamble, and like Drew said, I don't fault him for doing it, but I think he learned from it, and I think that's why you're seeing Jalen hit the portal. I think that's why you're seeing Jalen hit the portal. It's like, hey, that shoulder injury, we don't know how it's going to heal. He'll have a full offseason. The surgery goes, but are we really going to have to? Right now the market value is so high. To your point about the overpay, it's like you are worth what someone's willing to pay you, so there's really no overpay. AJ Demancey gets $7 million. There is no overpay, right? So if someone's willing to pay you whatever, then that is, and if you perform that amount of money, great. If you don't, you don't.
I'm starting to not be able to afford you.
But it's just one of those things where, he's probably going to be $1.5-2 million right now with, NIL inflation. Are you going to give that money to a guy who might not be able to play again because of shoulder injury? It's just, who knows? We do know now. It's the fact he's in the portal. He's not coming to Kentucky. And then, to button up my side of the roster construction, last year, I thought that thing was built really, really well. Unfortunately, with depth, you didn't have somebody like when Carr went out. Carr was such a massive piece to this team. And I know his box score wasn't, some extravagant, points wise and rebounds. But when Pope needed a bucket late in the game, you gave it to Carr in the post, and he would score every time. I mean, he led the SEC in and1 opportunities because of how good he was in the post. He goes out with a back injury. There was nobody to come in and fill that role, unfortunately.
Seriously, who is in Pope's era? Tell me. He's my favorite guy. And there's good kids. Carr, yeah. He's my favorite guy. Who else who takes?
I think just Ortega, Ortega's my favorite. I think just the memories he gave us and the what he scored 51 of 55 games or 50 of 54 games and 10 plus points. I think he's got
stat wise, he is good. He's really good, TB.
Yeah.
What are you shaking your head at? I wasn't disrespecting Owe.
No, it just when chatter comes up, Owe is never people I don't like that dude. I'm like,
no,
that dude was 20 points a game in the SEC. He was 20 points a game in the SEC. He looked around a lot of games and was like, because everybody loves Colin Chandler, I also remember a lot of games he didn't show up, and Oweh was like, I guess I got to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oweh is going to be one of those dudes we forget about, like we forget about Oscar Tshiebwe.
No, we're not going to forget about him on this show.
Can I finish my point?
Yes.
Because we forget about Antonio Reeves that was walking 20 points a game. We forget about Oscar Tshiebwe. And when I go to Rupp Arena, I look at the rafters, we forget about Tayshaun Prince. We forget about Keith Bogans. Guys that played their ass off, that reached high levels, but because the team success wasn't there, don't get the recognition. Because that's what we do as Kentucky, right? We're Kentucky. We're the program. If you don't make the Final Four, we don't give a shit about you. So I think Oweh, as great as he was over these 2 years, he was good.
Oh, listen,
look at this take.
I know this individual, and don't do not put anything on the screen that he puts on. He is trying to get TV worked up right now. That's all he's doing.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, hog ball burner. I'm a soundbite guy.
Jesus.
And he played more years at Kentucky than he did at Arkansas.
I'm controversy creates cash. Our podcast. Look, for the record, guys, there's KSR and there's everyone else. We're everyone else. Matt Jones and his crew doing their thing. We're all trying to just be another show. But we got good people. We got good stuff. But I'm giving Hogball Burner way more time than I probably should, right?
I just feel that Oweh, is going to get lost in the cracks, and that's what happens at great programs, right? Like, look, I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan, okay? Love the Lakers, but the Lakers, the rule is we're not going to retire your jersey unless you're in the Hall of Fame, right? So there are a lot of fan favorites that for other programs, other teams might be honored, but that's not what the Lakers do, right? Like I would say Derek Fisher, if he played for other teams, would be honored, but that's not what the Lakers do. So I understand at Kentucky, the standard is different, right? Like we're going to do things a little bit differently. What I'm saying is Oweh is going to be on that list of my Keith Bogans All-Stars where it's like you look at their numbers,
there you
resume, and you're like, oh, wow, that guy was much better than I thought.
Keith,
right?
That's a Keith Bogans. Yes, there you go.
Yeah, and TB, I know you probably didn't see it, but our last Randow recap when Jay and I did our kind of season recap, and he's a massive Oweh fan, obviously. I mean, the Oweh has snatched tears from that young man's eyes so many times as we thought we were getting ready to lose, and then he takes us and we somehow win a ball game. And you can argue that he's really saved the narrative for Pope too. Because as much as Pope, just like let's rewind back to the start of the show, Pope was touting those SEC tournament wins. We hit year one and we almost left without a win if it wasn't for Oweh, and we all would have been really, really pissed off about that. So
on a blown game too, we were up by 10 or something.
Yeah, and a team like Oklahoma that was not good.
We could have lost the first round of the NCAA tournament this year.
Yes,
I was there. I was there.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. And I put out there that you just was Otega always jump shot the prettiest? No. Did it go in a lot? It sure as hell did. Did he have the best handle? Nope. Did he get downhill and score buckets when we needed to a lot? Yeah, it sure did. Did he play the best defense? Nope. But guess what? He got steals and yams in key moments when we needed to. And he was a guy that was not supposed to be the dude. He was an ancillary piece from Oklahoma that Pope could just have on this roster to be like a bully. And he turned into SEC preseason player of the year. What Otega Oweh did, I think you're right, TB, unfortunately, but it should not be forgotten. We should, as a fan base, try to do whatever we can to not let him be the next Antonio Reeves. I think that's a great comp because him coming back for year two and what he did for this team. But because he lost round one to Jack Golke and because the two lottery picks froze in the tournament game, we forget what Antonio Reeves was all season.
Thank you for saying that because, I see a lot of people when it comes to Pope, like Pope can't make the shots for these guys. These guys have to make the shot. The old guy, you got lottery picks and Reed Shepherd. I know I'm a catch hell. Lottery pick.
He should not have been coming off the bench. And that I can't defend Cal Perry for that.
Can you hold on? Let me finish.
Yes.
You come in and you don't take a shot for the first 15 minutes of the game.
That's fair.
My wife, who is not a basketball person, she's learning, not a Kentucky fan, comes to me at halftime of Oakland and is like, "What's going on?" Rob Dillingham, who did everybody, gave the too small to everybody.
Oh
is
my God.
You can go back and watch the tape. Okay, Oakland. They switch out. There's a big on Rob Dillingham. and he passes the ball back to Reeves, and Reeves is like, all right. And then Reeves goes to Trey Mitchell and is like, I guess we got to do this, right? So we could talk about what the players have to do. Anyway, Randow, thank you for saying that. Your players have to step the fuck up, right? That's all I'm saying. Always stepped up. It wasn't always pretty. It wasn't always the most effective, but it's what I say about like Archie Goodwin. Like a lot of people like to shit on Archie Goodwin, but he's looking around like, who else is going to do it? Julius Mays? Ryan Harrell? Right. Like, I guess I got to drive in and shoot over 3 people.
Well, you putting some names out here.
Because, narratives get built and, people, again, like to crap on these guys because they didn't have the success, the team success. We've had a lot of guys spill a lot of blood wearing Kentucky blue that we shit on because the team wasn't very good. I don't think that's right.
That's fair. All right, guys.
And talk about, I'll wrap this up with who Otega Owe is. That game when we're down 20, he gets the steal with like 4.5 minutes left. There's nowhere we're winning that game. He gets a steal, he dunks it, and he is pleading with the team of like, go out on your sword, please. Like, run through the tape. Let's finish this thing. Because everybody else, the other 4 on that court, were done. We're ready to have their off season. The weight of the season plus being down 20 at Iowa State was too much for him. Otega Owe was the only one out there still fighting for, in that jersey.
It reminded me of 08 Joe Crawford. One of my favorite Kentucky games was the 35 points he gave Marquette in the first round, where it was clear we weren't going to win, but Joe was like, this is how I'm going to go out. He emptied the clip.
Dwayne Wade. Bradley. That was Wade, right?
No, it was different Marquette.
No. Oh.
Different Marquette. But it was just one of those teams, not very good, but Joe went out on his own, right? And nobody talks about that, but it was a beautiful game. And I remember it to this day. So keep it moving, Kevin Hale.
I'm trying to keep it moving. We're talking, let's go to the NCAA tournament. We're down to the final. It's the Final Four. Who we got? We got Michigan. We have UConn. We have
Illinois.
Yeah. And Arizona. Final Four. Guys, for the most part, the one seed's clearly dominant. They played their ass off. They legit were a 1 seed. And then you got Illinois, who slips in there as well. Big Ten, they're showing off. They got a couple teams in. Arizona, Arizona was my pick on all my brackets to win it all. I wanted to. I'm a Wildcat guy, so I stay Wildcat. Arizona. I will still say I lean towards Arizona. Dave, I'll start with you. Final Four. We. Again, it's sad times when we're doing a Kentucky sports show podcast on a Sunday night and we're talking about other teams. We have to talk about teams that just are better than us right now. Final Four. What are you thinking, Phil, on Final Four? You like this?
Arizona.
I think it's the year of Arizona. I do.
They're just too good. I mean, they got the perfect combination of size and shooting and defense. They're just too good. I mean, you saw the way they dismantled Purdue, like literally dismantled them. They're too good.
I don't know. I unfortunately, Michigan and Arizona probably should be the championship game. Mm-hmm. But the Michigan guards, Cadeau is good. He's not great, but he's played so much better on Dusty May than he has Hubert Davis in North Carolina. Yeah. Yaxel, if Yaxel plays like he did today, or really in the tournament, averaging 20 in the tournament, he's only averaging 15. And we had this debate last night on the happy hour show of Yaxel UAB was the dude, was a scorer, could do whatever he wanted, and he has dropped off as far as box score goes. And we were like, is that because he's not as good as we thought, the talent, or was it because Dusty May didn't ask him to do as much? And clearly it's because Dusty May didn't have to ask him to do as much in the regular season. But I know who I'm cheering for. The Illini. I'm cheering for the Illini to get this thing done. Right. I want to see them win.
You want a non-1 to get the job done.
Yeah. Plus,
do it.
I will always have.
And there's we got a Kentucky flavor.
I always have a soft spot in my heart. I got a Big Z Kentucky jersey.
That's your cell phone.
I got a hot spot for him too. But like those Euro guys. Anyways,
Your fan base appreciates your hotspot.
Yes. I think I want to go Illini. I don't know if they'll get it done, but that's who I'll be cheering for.
Drew, what's going on here? Drew looks like he needs to get something off his chest. What's the story here?
I have no idea.
All right.
I got nothing to get off my chest.
Wait a minute. No. Chop. Who's it?
Chop Saki?
Okay. Oh, okay.
I guess to get up my chest, I'll
They're
talk
calling you out. What you got to get off of your chest?
I don't know. I don't know
either.
I guess about the Final Four, though.
Who's got the better goatee, TB or Drew?
I'll give it to TB.
TB's our resident.
Been around a little longer, probably.
And for the record, everyone wants to touch the top of Kyle's head.
Listen, I get it cut short because I have to. All right, there is still hair there. All right, don't worry about it.
And then every one of our fan base, for your DJ needs, hook up our guy Dave-O.
Just not 2026. I'm completely booked. Sorry.
Well, and there's something very cool. Whenever you're doing a gig, Dave-O, you send a video of what you're doing, kids, whatever it is. And I love it because you are, for the record, give a shout out to because we are going to get you, like, your DJ business is going to be booked the rest of the year. Come on.
Thankfully it is booked for the rest of all.
No, I'm going to book you 2 times.
No, please don't. Weddings are already super stressful enough. So we're not
got a wedding coming up.
Yeah.
I might have a wedding coming.
I'm plugging it. Is that what I'm doing? Random. Yes. Okay, I can plug it. It's of course, right? Because why wouldn't it be? It's Wildcat Sounds DJ Services.
So predictable,
right? It's just I've been doing it for full time, like literally my full time job for 4.5 years. I did 61 weddings last year, 51 weddings last year. I'm just growing more and more and more, and just super thankful that so many people trust me on their super special days. You know, I get to do random
special.
Yeah,
because correct me if I'm wrong. You don't do this shit for free.
No, I don't do it for free.
Exactly.
I need to see one of these videos because I didn't know you did the DJ thing until just recently when you post one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, and this is no disrespect.
Oh, good.
That surprised me because you look very bland white, and if you're a DJ, you have to have some rhythm. So I was very surprised that you're DJing. I'm just saying, I didn't see you be able to have like some rhythm, and I'm assuming if you're a DJ, you're back there and you're jamming along with it too. So I judged you book by its cover there. I'm telling you right now.
You did,
and I apologize for that.
That was a rather wild stereotype.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I would think that though.
Yeah, you would think that, but once again, stereotypes are a mean thing, Kyle. And but it kind of is what it is. I do have lots of rhythm. I do bring lots of energy. Kyle, I want to say fuck you, but I'm not going to say that because you're my guy. But
I apologize for it. I was just saying. I had to get that.
Oh, I gotta clip this. I had
to get that off my chest. I saw the DJ thing, and I was like, that can't be the same Dave-O I know, and it was. So
I don't know how to respond to that. Kyle, get on. Go to Facebook, search Wildcat Sound DJ Services, and you're gonna see all the white guyness you can find in all my videos.
Yeah, I'm super proud. I'm super proud.
Dave-O, for the
all
record,
of us Caucasians out there.
Literally, someone texted me and said, Dave-O, if you could pick a song to go with Drew's hair, what would it be?
Fuck, what a call out.
That's the shit I'm dealing with on my side.
I can't come up with one.
He's the young guy. He's the young guy on the show. We get it. What are you, all of 22, Drew?
Swag and surf.
23.
He's got some flow.
You literally are younger than all of my kids. Asshole.
So that's actually my go-to, Randow, for all my weddings. I line them all up, and I literally have to get one person who has any kind of rhythm at all to be the leader. And I line them all up and I get them going. So yeah,
that's a smart play. It's kind of like playing the electric slide. It's something that all of us whites can do.
Give it to us. Here we go. Come on.
I mean,
around the world.
This show is went way off the fucking rails.
All right, bring it back. Hey, bring it back. I changed my mind. TB's the most Caucasian on this show currently. But when I just saw, he got a little extra. Yeah. I'm never invited back. I can see TB out in Iowa makes sense now. It all's coming together.
TB, when you coming back home, bro? So we can hang out at Fox Den.
In April. In April, I'm rolling back in because my daughter, that was going to be my final shot. She is
well, just save it because we're not doing final shots yet. Save it.
Well, she's kicking butt on this track thing. So yeah, man, my girls are killing it, man. It's crazy.
This is a different one from the lacrosse champion.
Yeah, my lacrosse daughter, she plays at Aurora University. She is a sophomore, and my youngest is a junior at Atherton in Louisville, and she's winning all these. I don't know where they're getting the athletic stuff from. It ain't me. Y'all see, all I do is just wear the jerseys. But my girls,
we just saw you dance. We know. Yes, we understand.
Yeah. Player of the week last week. Like my girls are killing it, man. I'm just a guy.
All right, where are we at?
Let's move. Let's final four. I'm going with Michigan.
No, hold on.
Man, you can't be yelling at black people.
Wow. No.
Wow. Okay.
The Emancipation Proclamation means you can't be yelling at me.
I get it. All right. So real quick, guys, the Final Four. By the time
Kevin, not comfortable talking about that.
No,
I am not talking about that.
Exactly.
All we need now is Adam on here talking about
exactly. Yeah. So every now and then, one of you all reminds me there's a line that I will not cross. All right.
What line is that? Because I said Emancipation Proclamation.
It's all right. Let's talk. I'm with you on all of your views.
I say that to my Caucasian wife. I'm like, you can't yell at me, baby. Slavery's over. You can't do that. And then she has me go work in the yard. You know what happens when she has me go do yard work? I go out there and say,
don't say it.
Man, don't say. Do not bring up. No, Terry, for the record,
man,
do not say your wife makes you do yard work, and do not.
And then the neighbors look like, how you get one of those?
Oh my God!
Look at this. He doing yard work and everything. And then she come out. She's like, "Can you? You know what? Can you get a drink?" I say, "Yes, and can I get a drink?" I sure is gonna work hard for you, baby. I know I'm going to hell, but that's all right.
You know what? Here's what I think. My significant other, Maria, we need one of those. Just saying.
Anyway, I love you guys.
I do. Yeah. We're all doing it. You know what? Here's the thing.
Welcome to Round of Shots, Drew.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, my bad, Drew. Yeah.
No,
I forgot Drew's new. He's gonna be like,
no, Drew's the new. He's like the intern. He has to deal with this shit. We get to haze him. Can I say haze? I don't even know if I can say haze on here.
I think that's illegal.
That's probably illegal.
All right, let's wrap this up.
No, Tyrese Maxey, who is like a fucking stud right now in the NBA. I mean, he is Sixers. He is the guy. Him and Embiid, but Maxey is fucking amazing. He put out a social media post at kind of basically what if that year, guys. That team. Maxey, who it. Emmanuel Quickly. Who was the other? We were
Ashton Hagens,
Nick Richards,
Montgomery,
Ashton Hagens, right?
Yeah.
Holy fuck! That team, guys. That team in the Cal era, one of my favorite team. There was just something just magical about that team. But COVID shut that shit down, Davo. Maxey, what would that team have done during that season? I mean, we can be the Homer fans and say, oh, we won a national championship. But honestly, Davo, we would have made a serious run, right?
Yeah. It's hard to say, because we just saw Duke in back-to-back years get put out early or not make it the national championship game with two generational talents. It's really, really super hard. That was my subtle shot at Duke, so fuck you guys. It was it's really, really hard to make it that far into the return in the first place. But obviously we all feel like that team had they were rolling, coming into the end of the year and everything. So it's just hard to see them not make a deep run in that tournament. Yeah, it sucks. I don't want to be reminded of 2020 at all, honestly, in any way, shape, or form. But yeah,
TB 2020.
Yeah.
We could pivot that off towards the real world. It was a big fucking deal for the real world, but it did impact our break from reality, which is sports. That team, that Kentucky team, was loaded. Go ahead.
I fell in love with Maxey, the Michigan State game. He taking that shot at Madison Square Garden.
Yes,
was like, okay, and we've seen in the tournament every year, right? You got to have people willing to take the big shot. Like the kid for Connecticut today to take that shot in that situation, like you need that. And Maxey had that. And so did Quickly. Like, I think, again, because the team wasn't very good, Emmanuel Quickly was very, very good that year. Like, SEC Player of the Year good, right? He's another one of those guys that, like, we won't remember fondly because there's no banner for him up in Rupp. So I don't know. They could have been Elite Eight. Like, I know people talk about the numbers and Dayton was this and other teams were this, but give me two guards that aren't afraid to make plays. And I think that Higgins was coming around to get his head screwed on, right? Yeah. And we saw what he did.
Junior Nick Richards.
Yeah. Right. So
yes, I would at that point, Nick Richards was legit lottery pick material. Season.
And he's still in the league, right? He's been in the league since then.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, he joins the list of people that I'm like, oh, yeah, he did go to Kentucky. It used to be Trey Lyles. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forget about it. So for me, yeah, they could have been Elite Eight. But once you get to the second weekend, it becomes a crapshoot, right? Like it just becomes a little bit of luck to get that far, right? Like Connecticut today, Dwayne Wade decided to go super silent. There's more luck than we want to ascribe it to. Like the lucky thing for Kentucky was Anthony Davis hurting his knee against Baylor. We've seen how fragile he's been outside of that year at Kentucky. It could have gone differently. So a little bit of luck once you get this far.
Fair. Anybody else chime in? I'll start. Kyle, go with you.
Yeah, man, I was heartbroken when that happened. I get this way every year, but that was a team where the way we closed out and dominated the SEC, I was like, I didn't understand why they just went and canceled the tournament so fast. You know, it was still early in understanding what COVID was. I thought we were just going to delay it. And then when they said they just canceled it, I was heartbroken because I thought that team would have been special. I will say this, and I feel very confident about it. And, you know, there's no way to fact check me on this, so it doesn't really matter. But if that team plays in the tournament, it goes on a type run where even if you have post-COVID Cal, he's still our coach. Like, I believe that to be like that's another tack that you're adding on as he's walking through, past the Kentucky locker room with Sweet 16 number in the background and Elite 8 number in the background. He's strutting through. That's just another one you add to it to where that team would have been special. Because like guard play is what runs the tournament, and which is why you see kind of Koa Pete and Carlos Boozer have good games, but it's really the guards that are killing it. It is. I think that team would have been special and gone on a run to at least Elite Eight, but we will never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah, and then the season really got canceled when they were getting ready to play in the SEC tournament, which that kind of sucked too.
It did.
That's really where you can tell what teams are. You can get a good idea what teams are destined to go on a run in March Madness. That team was good. I mean, there was a bunch of talent. I mean, Johnny Juzang was just chilling on the bench that year, and I think it was that year.
Were you still a teenager at that year, Drew?
I think maybe I was a senior in high school, I think, or junior.
Fuck off, Jesus Christ.
Junior in high school, yeah.
Kid.
Yeah, that team had it all. They had the guard play, they had the shooting, they had the bigs, they had depth, and then
we did. We had guys, TB, Dave, a three-headed guard offense with a NBA pick in the middle, and Nick Richards. That team, I mean, that could have really.
Nate Sestina was on that roster as well.
And Nate, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is going on? Help us out, Drew. What's the latest with Stokes?
So tired of hearing that fucking name.
Yeah.
No. Come on. Help us out.
I think just in general, I would tell everybody to not believe a damn thing they see on the internet or read. I mean, you could take some things from it, but if I'm just being honest, I don't think really anybody knows. And the second somebody acts like they know, it goes in a different direction. People saying, oh, he's going to Kentucky. And then it's Kansas takes over and Kansas is in the lead. Well, watch out for Kentucky. And I'll just say this. I think regardless.
What do you know, Drew?
I don't know anything, and I don't think anybody knows anything.
That's the best answer, yes.
Exactly.
What I know is this. Kansas has, I think, 4 recruits committed. One is in a potential reclass. They're recruiting a kid. He's a top 20 kid from St. Louis, who was originally committed to Wake Forest. He's out, and Kansas has been pushing for him very hard. He's a wing. He's like a 6'3" wing. I don't know if he's a McDonald's All-American or not. So they already have a big recruiting class. Obviously, we know Kentucky now has one recruit in Mason Williams, but the connection.
Who is, for the record, is a 4-star.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to be a party pooper.
Yeah, but he's
okay, fair. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I
Tyler Hero was a 4-star, by the way.
Yeah.
What? And we just call him Tyler Hero was a 4-star, and everybody on the internet calls him a bucket.
Yeah. Look at Keaton Wagler. He was in
Kyle.
Except for Auburn.
Ever correct
the Auburn game in the League 8, he was a bucket.
Yeah.
Kyle called me out on my podcast, literally to my face.
But I think
it's good context. Sorry, Drew.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'll finish with Tyron. It goes either way. He doesn't have a wrong decision to make. It's Kansas or Kentucky. Like, let's be real. Regardless, he's going to be playing at one of the best schools in the country. And
all right, well, staying with Kansas. Who's the next? Help us out. Our coach is in place. Who is the next Kansas? Can that coach?
No, if Bill Self retires, I would say 99% he will be a Kentucky Wildcat. Okay. I don't see any unless somebody came out of the blue, like, I don't know, Washington, or we've heard some things of Vanderbilt or Oregon's kind of slowly in the mix. Unless one of those schools came out of nowhere and made ground, but
let's be honest. This whole narrative that Kentucky basketball, the Kentucky men's basketball program spends the most money in it. That's bullshit. That's not the case. Yeah. It's been debunked. There's several programs out there that have spent more than Kentucky.
Yeah.
So.
And I think with Tyron too, what we kind of have to remember as well is obviously he has a pretty lucrative Nike deal as well, which plays in our part. Now there's ways around that. Just because he signed to Nike does not mean he has to come to Kentucky or another Nike school. Okay. Cooper Flagg was signed with New Balance. Deron Rippey he's an incoming freshman as well. He's signed to Adidas. He's going to Duke. I mean, the list goes on and on. So he doesn't have to go here, but that plays into it's a huge factor because, I don't know for sure, but Nike could be involved in the NIL money that we pay for him. They might be able to provide extra money for us or with us, I guess, to give to him to make sure that he goes to a Nike school. If he doesn't, it's also a bad PR move on him as well, because if he's at a Nike school, they can run a bunch of promotions, potentially commercials. And, if he goes to Adidas school, that takes a year away from what he could be potentially making outside money as well from the collective or just standard NIL as well. But that also doesn't matter. He maybe just doesn't want to come play basketball at Kentucky and wants to go to Kansas. And
that's fair too. I mean, Kentucky is not the end all be all.
No.
That we'd like Kansas, it to be.
Well, we all can, have our opinions, but Kansas is, they're right up there with Kentucky as well as the other blue bloods. So he doesn't have really a decision to make.
Stay with the blue blood. We've got TB, Davo. I'll start with you guys first. We have 2 blue blood schools that are looking for to fill their coaching. Fill their coaching. In this era right now, we're the narrative right now is when it comes to NIL and everything, it's about the moment. Players, TB, I'll start with you. Do they really care about tradition?
Did they ever?
Back in the day they did. Until the money.
Okay, let me share something. I saw this clip of Jamal Mashburn, and it's basically my algorithm on YouTube is like, hey, why did you pick this school? Jamal Mashburn knew of Rick Pitino because he coached the Knicks. Jamal Mashburn's from New York. Jamal Mashburn wanted to play, and he said, and I quote, people said, why are you going there? They're on probation. He was like, what does that mean? They're not playing the tournament. He's like, I'm just looking to play. So all of a sudden, I think fans, we need to take our fan hat off. Most of these guys that come to play, it's very transactional. Now, once they get on campus, they learn the school fight song, they understand all this kind of stuff, but it's very transactional, okay? I explain that for myself. I grew up, Randow, you responded to this tweet. I grew up a Louisville fan. Everybody in my family went to the University of Louisville, right? I get to high school. University of Louisville says, we're going to give you X as a scholarship. Kentucky said, we're going to give you X plus Y. Transactional. But once I got there, I was like, this is awesome. This is very transactional. Like this narrative that you need people to understand, these 18-year-olds to understand the history. I just don't think that's fair, right? Like we were just saying, you can flip a coin, go to Kentucky, go to Kansas. It's fine. I get it. As fans, I would say come to Kentucky because it's better. But is it, right? Like
Kansas fans could probably argue the same exact thing their way, you know?
Right. And that's the point is like we think for some reason that all these guys came to Kentucky because of it's Kentucky. And I have heard Pat Riley say he left Schenectady, New York because Adolph Rupp was the coach. I just told you that Jamal Bashburn came to Kentucky because Rick Pitino was the coach. So the brand is the brand, but these guys come to play for the coach.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that's unreal for that to happen, because I remember when Coach Pitino was at Louisville and everybody was joking on Coach Pitino. I went to a lot of events with these 1990s guys, and people were asked questions about trying to shit on Pitino, and those guys fucking love Rick Pitino. Why wouldn't they? He put them in the league. They won championships. So it's like they love Kentucky, but they also love Rick Pitino. But all of a sudden, now it's got to be a thing. He's a Cal guy, and he's a Cal guy. Like you brought up Boogie Cousins. Like that's not unusual. You go and play for the coach.
You do.
Like, is that? Am I wrong there? Nope. If I'm wrong, please tell me. I've talked to people being recruited. My daughter, like I said, she recruited. I know it's D3 and it's not all this, but she's there because she likes the fucking coach.
Exactly.
She doesn't know like we're learning the fight song and all this shit, but like you go for the coach. Like it's cool that Kentucky is on TV and Kentucky's got all these wins and all this kind of stuff. You go for the coach. I just don't think that's unusual.
All right, guys.
I think it has diminished even more though with NIL. I mean, you wouldn't have 2 lottery picks at Rutgers like last year, like you did if it wasn't for a bunch of money they're shelling out. Right. I do think the Kentucky allure. You know, we were just talking about last year's team. Yeah, I'm sure they came to want to coach for Pope, but if Pope was still at BYU, Lamont Butler ain't leaving SDSU, but he's at Kentucky, right. So Lamont Butler comes to SDSU. Andrew Carr leaves Wake to come to Kentucky and play for Pope. So I think those players, but you're right. Your 5 stars, your Darius Acuff, your Taylor Kinney, your Michael Brown, like those guys are going to go because I like the coach and this is what the money is, right? And it's going to what's the next step for me? And that's all. That's not going to change.
Fair.
Well, and it's a mixture, right? Like we talk about like this NIL, like it's a brave new world. I bring this point up all the time, and I know you all get tired of hearing it. Have you ever looked at the best teams of the 1940s in college basketball? It's like Kentucky, North Carolina, and a bunch of schools that don't do anything. You ever looked at the best teams of the 1950s? What my point is, college basketball, because whenever I talk about my 3 years, people are like, well, it's different. It's NIL. And I always say that argument means that when Coach Rupp took up in 1932 to Coach Cal's last Final Four team in 2015, what you're saying is college basketball never changed. It was the exact same. Yeah. My point is it always changes. Again, I know people don't want me to talk about this, but look at the teams that were slow to integrate. Okay? Fair. Those are the teams that have banners from 1940s, but nothing since. Look at the teams that were slow to adopt the three-point shot, like Bob Knight at Indiana and Denny Crum at Louisville. Right? Great teams in the 80s that didn't transition. My point is Kentucky is always transitioning to what's next. Mm-hmm. No matter what the world looks like, NIL, Negroes, three-point shot, shot clock, whatever it is, Kentucky is at the top. I'm begging you all to please understand what I'm saying. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm just tired of like.
No, it's a good point because NIL is going to become normal, and then something else is going to change, right? Like it's always
right. Yeah. And people are like, oh, we're slow to change. Integration happened in the early 70s, and then Joe B. Hall got Leonard Hamilton, Google him, kids, to say, hey, Negroes can come play here.
At Louisville, right?
At Louisville.
At He was at Louisville, right?
Yeah. So then it's like the 3-point shot comes in 87. I'm old enough to remember Patino's Bambinos in 89. And then it's like, well, you got to have veteran-laden teams. Tubby Smith wins in 98. Oh, man. Now one and dones are the thing. Now let's go get 4 Final Fours. Please stop telling me that with NIL, Kentucky's like, well, we don't know what we're doing. When?
For the record, hold on.
I've got to sit here. I've got to sit here in Iowa and people talk about hiring a first year coach, getting to the Elite Eight. That's hard. Kentucky can't do that?
Yeah, we can't.
Okay.
And Deputy 304, who is the other blue blood looking for a coach besides Kansas, right?
Potentially.
Well, it's not confirmed yet. That's potential.
It's not.
Self said himself that he's not leaving, but also he can't announce right now that he's leaving.
Himself. Did you really say that, Kyle?
Yes. Yeah. Bill Self said himself that he is not retiring. But again, he can't do that right now because if he does, Tay Kenny and all those dudes Drew was just talking about can have 30 days to go find another squad. So he's got to at least, you got to get these guys in the building. And then if he does decide to exit, what's the exit plan? Which is why I think Bill Self probably comes back this one year.
Kind of announce it before, kind of like Coach K did.
This is my final run. That makes more sense.
Okay.
But
so you do.
Are we doing final shots
back?
I do. I think he.
I do too. He's always said he doesn't want to go out. He wants to go out on top. And I mean, you look at Kansas in the last 4 years; they haven't done really anything either since they won the national championship. So I don't think he wants to go out in this way either.
Oh, you're saying he has an ego? He wants to.
So Kevin, I guess you're saying he's too selfish.
Maybe.
Come on, Randow, smile. Come on, that was funny. Come on, bro.
It was going. It was good. You're not as funny as me, but you're funny.
You know what? One night, Randow, we're gonna have a fucking podcast versus podcast show. Round of shots versus.
No, you don't want that.
Do it roll. You know what?
Because it's going to be people throwing oops to me, and I'm going to go, hey, I got right on you every single time.
You know what?
On your forehead.
In the spirit of, entertainment, we'll have to do that. And you know what? We got to figure out how to monetize this, but we got to, it's a pay-per-view moment, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
And as long as little Randow is part of it, I'm not going to do anything with you, Randow. Kyle.
We'll get Jay on here.
Until my dude, my little dude.
He's right now. Y'all got to. He's in Florida right now. They're spring breaking right now, man. They're in Florida without me. That's what he's in Florida at the moment.
Oh, he's in Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He really is. He is like you, mini me, no doubt about it.
I have to. I love this part. I got to give a shout out. You get to do a podcast with your son. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And he's watched so much basketball with me. And it's funny how he speaks like I speak, which is scary, minus the adult language. But obviously he sees the game the way I see it, and we don't always agree with certain things. And it's funny the way his brain works. We're sitting here on a podcast, and we're sitting there recapping the season, and he just looked at me and goes, "Remember when BG was the best player in the UNC game we lost?" And I'm like, "Dude, your little mind just works." He's got no problem throwing these terrible moments back. Yeah. It's fun to be able to do that, and I hope we get to do it for a long time.
Yeah, for the record, all you Kyle fans on here, my one gripe with Kyle Randow when he's on the show is that he gets caught up looking at himself during the show. And when I ask him a question, he won't be able to answer because he's never mind.
Who am I supposed to look at? Davo?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Come on, give it our guys. All right, Drew, you picked a great night to hang with us. Us adult, you little kiddo. What's help us out? We're shutting it down. Final shot. I start with you. What's on your mind? What's the last non-sport take for you tonight?
Last sports take?
It could be non-sports. It don't matter.
Or non. Yeah. Dead air is not good, Drew.
Hey, can you click that link? Can you click that comment real quick by Chop Saki?
Yeah, that's kind of
What? Oh, what? It looked like
that's my final shot.
He does. I'm calling. Thank you. I don't know how many times I fucking have called Kyle out when I'm trying to talk to him during the show, and I'll say something to him because he's a fucking regular on Round of Shots on Sunday night. He gets the routine. But when I ask him a question and there's like radio silence, I know why there's radio silence. Chop, sock.
This isn't fair. I literally have to.
It's because
to stare in front of a camera.
Kyle stares at himself. He stares at himself and it is fixated with the way he looks, and he can't speak.
Listen, I am 35. I look 45. I'm haggard, but I come on this show because you do make me feel better about myself.
No, man. And Claire and Mila appreciate you, right?
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Exactly. All right.
Shout out Big Blue Scoop too in the chat. Wanted to shout out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is my quick little plug. We are affiliated with Bleed Blue Network. We're going to be working on some podcasts affiliated with that platform that will involve Kyle and another recruiter and our partners in crime.
I think you mean not Kyle,
me
or Drew. I said
Drew.
I said Kyle. Yeah, I meant Drew. Okay.
You definitely want Drew talking about
the balls on this guy. What? There's only one Randow.
Now is the perfect time to wrap this fucking show up.
Exactly.
It's getting really weird now.
Exactly.
It's getting off the rails.
Everyone has given their final shot, right?
No, we haven't even started.
We haven't started.
This show stinks.
No, this show doesn't stink. That's just
who's hosting this damn thing.
I'm trying to.
That's my tagline for our show because I am very positive that the All UK Ball Border Rival show probably the worst show on the internet, but people listen to it and I appreciate it.
No,
yeah.
it's the best.
Goodness gracious.
We're trying to be. Yeah, we're trying to be that guy. We're trying to. Okay, all right, Drew, you're the new guy. You get to final shot. Go.
Yeah, I'd say just my final shot is, I guess, for Kentucky fans in the chat and those things, just buckle up. It's going to be a crazy off season. I'm sure probably tomorrow we'll start to hear some news of potentially guys returning, guys leaving, maybe some coaching smoke. Guys will continue to enter the portal. I don't think the portal opens for another 2 weeks, so it'll kind of be quiet on that end. But it's going to be a crazy off season. We'll see what happens, and hopefully by this time next year, we're celebrating Kentucky going to another Final Four. So that's my final shot.
Oh, really? That's very optimistic.
I'm hoping.
Hoping for Popin. Okay.
Hoping Pope.
All right. Randow, Kyle, give me your final shot.
Yeah, my final shot, it actually kind of ties into what Drew was saying. I want everybody to remember that I think football, there's some good inside information that comes out, right? And I don't know why there's a difference, but if you just go look at the last 2 years, the basketball insiders, right? And I don't care if you work for a radio station or a network or a dipshit like me talking on a podcast, there is not true inside information. All right, Pope, there are no loose lips on Pope's ship, right? When Amari committed, when Lamont Butler committed, when Ansley committed, when Otega committed, when Zell committed, when Otega committed, like all these things happen and we're like, holy shit, we never saw that coming. Unless Pope wants us to know about it, i.e. JQ, because he had missed on some guys and he wanted to be like, hey, I can land a big fish. So that came out pretty early that we were getting him. Or if it was Berea because, we were fighting against Duke and UConn and we needed a fan base and some donors to come out and support getting Berea. So if Pope wants us to know about it, we'll know about it. Up until then, and Drew said this early on the show, what you see on the internet, you can't really, you gotta just kind of dismiss it and not try to fall into the bait, which is tough. But just know that Pope, it will work. He'll work in silence. And if you trust his roster construction, which I think you can, based off his last 2 years, injuries aside, you look at what he has done and built a roster, plus some of the new additions he's got coming in to fill these assistant coaching roles, both confirmed and potential. Let this thing play out. The portal has a tight window now, so we're going to find out earlier than normal what this roster looks like. And I do think you can go and be optimistic like Drew is about what it is. But all these different people coming out and I hear this, and I hear this, and money this, and money that. It's silly. Let the thing play out, and know that Pope works in silence, and that just kind of goes. It's not the Cal era anymore. So you're not gonna get a bunch of 5-star freshmen. The roster's gonna be built different, and we're not gonna get a lot of information because we're not gonna know until Pope wants us to know.
Can I jump in really fast on that point? Like 30 seconds, especially
because Drew is hot.
There you go.
Perfect. I would say especially what Randow just said this offseason with the staff changes, with probably a lot of roster turnover as well. There's going to be a whole lot of newness in the program. There's going to be a whole lot of information being, thrown around and those things. Just trust the process, and we'll see what happens next year, when it's time to get on the basketball court. But, we'll see what happens this offseason. And don't, like Randow said, don't believe everything you see on the internet, because I would say probably 90% of it's false.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. I was a little skeptical of all the shit that I was seeing online, but now I feel okay.
Hey, y'all, I appreciate you for everything. I'm going to go call Jay and tell him good night, but thank you so much for letting me on tonight. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Boots. All right, guys. Let's see. Who's TB? Give me your final shot.
My final shot, my girls, man, they're killing it in track and field and lacrosse. So shout out to them. Again, I'm not sure where they get the athletic prowess at, but I'm certainly proud of that. And they're rocking it in the classroom. So I'm just a proud dad.
We know where they get their look.
Yeah, they get the looks from me. I'm beautiful. But yeah, shout out to them. Just getting it done, man.
Absolutely. All right, Davo, give me something.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, to the Duke fans that may come across this, to the Tennessee fans that may come across this, listen, from the bottom of my soul, like, okay, fuck you. And seriously, and I mean as serious as I can be about this. No, yes, TB, thank you. Listen, nobody cares that you made it a game or two further than UK. But for some reason, after you guys lose in Tennessee's fucking aspect of things, get fucking absolutely boat raced, okay? And Duke loses on a absolutely beautiful shot from UConn, right? You guys at the same time are going to be sitting right next to us watching the Final Four. Like, you don't hang banners for that shit. You lost. Congratulations.
Tennessee does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennessee's been in existence for 118 years. They never even got – anyways, fuck them. Listen, so my actual final shot is Kentucky baseball. Figure the shit out, like, right? Because it's getting kind of irritating at this point.
That's so, yeah.
Yeah, they had a 7-0 lead, down there in Baton Rouge, and for some reason or another, ended up losing 17-10. Yeah, figure it out. I know baseball is a long season. Get the bullpen figured out, please. Thank you.
You literally said thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
My final shot, I don't do one often, but I'll do one tonight. Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, put out. He's part of Michelle Beadle's. I can't remember the show. They do a podcast, so their own show, whatever it is. But with the whole Kentucky sports narrative, this is a guy, Boogie, called out Mitch Barnhart. This is I'm only bringing this up because it's going to be a segue into maybe the next episode. There is a lot of disconnect with who our athletic program is, and as we continue to do round of shot shows. Off season wise that are, the basketball and football season are not in play, but so much going on. There's going to be talking points. And next week we will bring up this, what Boogie, his narrative when it came to Mitch Barnhart. I didn't get to talk about this tonight, but we'll bring it up next week. Guys, as always, I literally try to say we're only going to do 60 minutes, but once I get you guys on, we just shoot the shit and have a good time. Mainly because Terry has got so many great talking points that we can't.
I do homework.
He does homework. And you did not eat any paper during this tournament, right?
Yeah. If Kentucky made it to the Sweet 16, so yeah.
You called that. All right. For our fans and partner, Bleed Blue Network, who is a part of Round of Shots, appreciate you. Davo, TBO, Drew O, Kevin O, signing off on this Sunday night. Again, March 29th, 2026, Round of Shots. Wishing everyone a good night, good week. We will be back next Sunday. Peace out.
Next Sunday's Easter.
Shout out Minchie's King.
So we're not doing a show next week?
No, I'm just reminding you next Sunday.
Okay, we'll talk.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Bleed Blue Network podcast. We hope you enjoyed diving deep into the world of Kentucky sports with us. Don't forget to stay connected by following us on Twitter at BleedBNation. Your feedback means the world to us. So take a moment to leave a review. Not only does it help us improve, but it also helps others discover the show. Until next time, Keep cheering, keep listening, and keep bleeding blue.